Picture this. You're strapped into the cockpit of an F-35 Lightning II, the world's most advanced multi-role fighter, for a grueling 14-hour combat mission. The cockpit is tighter than a compact car's front seat, with your knees brushing the instrument panels and harnesses locking you in so snugly you can barely shift an inch. The roar of the jet's engine fills your ears, the bubble canopy traps heat like a sauna, and the constant stream of data from the F-35's cutting-edge sensors demands your full attention. There's no stepping out, no stretching, no breaks, just you, a few pockets stuffed with essentials, and the mission ahead. Unlike bomber crews who can heat up meals, or tanker crews with access to onboard galleys, F-35 pilots have none of those comforts. So, how do they eat, drink, manage bodily needs, and stay sharp through hours of high-stakes flying without collapsing from exhaustion? Buckle up, because we're diving deep into the survival strategies of F-35 pilots on long combat missions. The F-35 isn't built for short joyrides. While a typical training sortie might last 90 minutes to 2 hours, enough time for air-to-air drills, precision strikes, or quick patrols near a base, combat missions are a different beast. With aerial refueling, an F-35 can stay airborne for 8, 10, or even 14 hours, sometimes longer. The jet's stealth capabilities, advanced radar, and helmet-mounted display system, which projects critical data directly onto the pilot's visor, make it a powerhouse for modern warfare. But these systems also pile on mental demands, requiring pilots to process a flood of information while flying at near Mach speeds. The jet can keep going as long as tankers keep the fuel flowing. But the human inside? That's the real limiting factor. Take recent operations in the Indo-Pacific, where F-35s have flown 10 to 14-hour patrols to monitor contested airspace. Or consider missions over Syria, where pilots have stayed aloft for 11 hours, refueling multiple times mid-air to maintain a presence. These aren't just flights, they're endurance tests. Pilots face constant radio chatter, the vibration of the jet, and the need to stay alert for threats, all while managing the F-35's complex systems. Every decision, from when to take a sip of water to when to eat a snack, becomes as tactical as targeting an enemy. To survive, pilots rely on meticulous planning, specialized gear, and sheer discipline. Let's break it down, starting with how they prepare before the wheels even leave the ground. Long before an F-35 pilot climbs into the cockpit, their mission begins with preparation. What they eat and drink on the ground can make or break their performance 6, 8, or 10 hours into a flight. The goal is simple: fuel the body for endurance without risking mid-flight discomfort. Heavy, greasy foods like burgers or pizza are a pilot's worst enemy. Imagine trying to focus on a radar scope while your stomach churns at 35,000 feet. Instead, pilots stick to light, balanced meals that provide steady energy. Think grilled chicken with quinoa, a bowl of oatmeal with berries, or a protein-packed smoothie with banana and almond butter. These meals deliver lean protein and complex carbs that digest slowly, keeping blood sugar stable over hours. One F-35 pilot put it this way: "My breakfast is like loading ammo. It's got to carry me through the fight." Caffeine is another careful calculation. A small coffee or tea before takeoff can sharpen focus, but too much risks dehydration or a jittery crash later. Energy drinks are off the table. A sugar high at takeoff followed by a slump during a critical maneuver, like aerial refueling, is a recipe for disaster. Hydration starts early too. Pilots chug water in the hours before a mission to prime their bodies, knowing the dry cockpit environment will sap moisture fast. At the squadron, Pre-flight checks go beyond weapons and avionics. Pilots inspect their survival kit like it's part of the jet. Are there enough energy bars, say 4 or 5 Quest or Kind bars, each packing 200 to 300 calories? Is the hydration bladder, a rugged water pouch like a camelback, filled to the brim? Are there spare piddle packs tucked into the flight vest? These aren't afterthoughts, they're mission critical. A forgotten snack or an empty water pouch could mean fuzzy thinking or dehydration at the worst possible moment. By the time pilots strap into the F-35's ejection seat, their body is tuned like the jet itself, ready for the long haul. Once airborne, the F-35 cockpit becomes a high-tech pressure cooker. There's no space for a lunch tray, no time for a sit-down meal. Food isn't about enjoyment. It's about keeping the pilot's body and brain in fighting shape. Every calorie must be compact, energy-dense, and easy to eat with one hand, because the other is on the controls, and the pilot's eyes are glued to the helmet display or radar. Protein bars are the backbone of cockpit cuisine. Brands like Quest, Kind, or Built bars are favorites, packing 200 to 300 calories into a wrapper that slips into a flight suit pocket. Pilots tear them open with a quick rip, taking small bites during rare quiet moments, maybe between radio calls or while cruising on autopilot. It's not about taste, it's about function. I grab a bar and chew when I can, one pilot explained. If the mission's hot, it stays in my pocket. A single bar might deliver 250 calories, enough to keep blood sugar steady without spiking it, which could lead to a crash in focus. Other go-to snacks include beef jerky, almonds, or dried fruit like apricots, foods that are clean, durable, and won't leave crumbs or grease. Crumbly snacks like crackers or greasy chips are a nightmare in the F-35's cockpit, where a stray particle could jam a touchscreen or clog a switch. The jet's advanced electronics, including its panoramic cockpit display, demand a pristine environment. Every snack is chosen to survive high-G maneuvers, where the pilot might pull 9 Gs, crushing their body and anything in their pockets. Pilots don't eat on a schedule. There's no lunch break at 30,000 feet. Instead, they graze, nibbling a bar or a handful of nuts when the mission allows. This steady trickle of calories prevents energy dips without overloading the stomach, which could cause cramps during a dogfight. The contrast with larger aircraft is stark. A B-2 bomber crew might reheat a meal in a cooler or stretch their legs. An F-35 pilot? They're munching jerky while dodging radar threats. Every bite a calculated move to stay combat ready. If food fuels the body, hydration keeps it alive. The F-35's cockpit is a dehydration machine. On the ground in hot climates, like Middle Eastern deserts or humid Indo-Pacific bases, the canopy traps heat, turning the cockpit into an oven. In flight, the constant flow of dry oxygen through the pilot's mask saps moisture fast. Add the stress of combat maneuvers and the mental load of managing the F-35's sensors, and dehydration isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous. A pilot who doesn't drink enough risks sluggish reactions, clouded judgment, and, in a worst-case scenario, mission failure. The solution is elegantly simple: a hydration bladder. Picture a heavy-duty water pouch, like a camelback, tucked into the pilot's flight vest or survival kit. A flexible tube runs from the bladder, under the helmet, to the pilot's mouth, allowing hands-free sips even during high-speed turns. It's not glamorous, no shiny water bottle or Instagram-worthy drink, but every sip keeps the pilot sharp. You take a quick sip every 10 or 15 minutes, one pilot shared. Too much, and you're filling piddle packs. Too little, and you're toast. The bladder might hold a liter or more, enough to last a long mission, with spares sometimes stashed for extra long patrols. Hydration isn't just about quenching thirst, it's about maintaining performance. The F-35's helmet-mounted display, which overlays data like enemy positions or flight paths directly onto the visor, requires intense focus. Dehydration can dull that edge, turning a split-second decision into a costly mistake. Pilots pace their sips carefully, balancing the need to stay hydrated with the practical limits of their bladder and the piddle packs they carry. Let's get real. 14 hours in a cockpit means nature will call, and the F-35 has no bathroom. Zero. For pilots, this is one of the least glamorous parts of the job, but it's as critical as fuel or weapons. The solution? Piddle packs. These are heavy-duty plastic bags filled with absorbent gel that turns liquid into a solid, leak-proof mass. Pilots can use them discreetly, seal them up, and stow them away, all without leaving the seat. Some packs come with a funnel attachment to make the process less awkward in the cramped cockpit, where every move is constrained by harnesses and G-forces. Using a piddle pack at 35,000 feet isn't easy. Imagine trying to aim while flying at Mach 1, with turbulence rocking the jet and the F-35's sensors demanding attention. "You learn to time it for a straight and level moment," one pilot said with a laugh. For number 2, waste bags with similar gel technology exist, but they're a last resort. Pilots meticulously plan their meals, low-fiber, low-residue foods like chicken and rice, to avoid that scenario altogether. Pre-flight routines often include a trip to the bathroom to ensure the body is, let's say, mission-ready. The contrast with other platforms is almost comical. A B-2 bomber has a small porta-potty. Tanker aircraft like the KC-46 have crew lavatories. Even submarines have full bathrooms. In an F-35, pilots handle everything in the seat, mid-mission, and keep flying like it's just another day at the office. It's a reminder that in fighter aviation, even the most basic human needs become tactical challenges. Flying an F-35 for 14 hours isn't just about food or water, it's a physical and mental marathon. The cockpit is so tight that pilots' shoulders brush the sides and their knees nearly touch the panoramic display. Harnesses lock them in, making significant movement impossible. For a 2-hour training flight, it's manageable. For 10 or 14 hours, it's punishing. Muscles stiffen, joints ache, and the constant vibration of the jet wears on the body. Pilots use small tricks to cope, flexing their toes inside boots, tensing and releasing leg muscles, or rolling their shoulders against the seat. These micro-movements aren't enough to prevent discomfort, but they help maintain circulation during long missions. The mental toll is even tougher. The F-35's advanced systems, like its distributed aperture system, which provides a 360-degree view through the helmet, flood pilots with data. They're juggling radio calls, monitoring threats, and making split-second decisions, all while the jet's roar fills their ears. Staying focused for hours requires superhuman discipline. "You can't let your mind wander," one pilot explained. "One missed call or wrong move, and it's over." To combat fatigue, pilots rely on their snacks and hydration, but they also train their minds like athletes. Breathing exercises, mental checklists, and pre-flight visualization help them stay locked in. Psychological endurance is critical. Long missions can feel isolating, especially since F-35 pilots fly solo, unlike bomber crews who share the load. The constant pressure of being the tip of the spear in a high-stakes environment weighs heavily. Pilots use techniques like compartmentalizing tasks, focusing on one objective at a time, to avoid overload. Some even talk to themselves, or hum to stay alert. The snacks and water aren't just about physical survival. They're about keeping the brain sharp enough to handle the F-35's demands. Step back from the F-35 cockpit, and the contrast with other military platforms is striking. A B-2 stealth bomber crew can heat up meals in a cooler, stretch their legs, or use a makeshift toilet during a 20-hour mission. Tanker aircraft like the KC-46 have galley kitchens where crews rotate to eat, rest, or even nap. Submarines offer full mess halls with hot meals around the clock. F-35 pilots? They're stuck with energy bars, jerky, and a hydration tube, improvising at 35,000 feet. There's no backup in the cockpit, no co-pilot to share decisions or take over. Every choice, from snacking to managing piddle packs, falls on one person. This solitude underscores the F-35's unique role. Its stealth and versatility make it a lone wolf in modern air combat, but that comes at a cost. While a tanker crew of 5 can rotate tasks, or a B-2 crew of 2 can trade off duties, the F-35 pilot fights alone. The jet's technology, its sensors, data fusion, and stealth, extends its endurance, but the human inside relies on discipline and preparation. Success hinges on whether they packed enough snacks, filled their water bladder, and planned their pre-flight meal to avoid mid-mission surprises. So, how do F-35 pilots stay fueled on long combat missions? It's not about gourmet meals or comfort breaks. It's about energy bars, nuts, jerky, hydration bladders, piddle packs, and an ironclad commitment to discipline. From pre-flight meals to in-flight grazing, every choice is calculated to keep the pilot sharp and the mission on track. The F-35 may be a technological marvel, but its pilots are human, and their survival depends on planning, grit, and a few well-chosen snacks. Now it's your turn. If you were locked in an F-35 cockpit for 14 hours, what snacks would you pack to stay sharp? Drop your ideas in the comments below. We're curious to hear your picks. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and consider joining our Sky Squad. Members get exclusive badges, priority replies, and help us keep bringing you the untold stories of aviation. Just click Join on our channel page to sign up, because nothing says combat ready like a protein bar at Mach speed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the skies.